Well, thank you everyone for coming today, and thank you very much to the DePIN Association, who we're proudly part of with Powerledger as well, for having us. And thanks for Accurist and the guys at Accurist for taking the lead for this conference today. Today I'm here to discuss a topic that matters to everyone, energy. We talk about the energy market, and I want to talk about what the problems in the current energy market are and why DePIN is the solution to these problems. First, let me show you what the current market looks like. We see that for the past years, a lot of money has flown and a lot of investment has flown into renewable energies. Currently, renewable energies account for more investments than fossil fuels, and by 2025, so by next year, we expect renewables to take over from coal, which is currently the largest energy source in the market. With a lot of adoption come also a lot of problems, because one of the key things about renewable energy is it can only be produced when not a lot of it is being consumed. So that leads to the very well-known duck curve that you see on the right on the screen, which means that during the day there's a lot of energy produced and not a lot of it consumed. That's bad for the current energy retailers because they can't sell any of their traditionally sourced energy. Additionally, in order to counteract that, the energy retailers curtail the production of renewables, which means that we currently have around 30% of renewable energy that could be produced is not actually used. So a lot of renewable energy is wasted. And that is largely related to the fact that the current grid can't handle the renewable energy load. With more renewable energies, you have to imagine the grid being like a spinning top. The more traditional sources are very, very strong inertia forces that make the top spin very fast. And even if one of those energy producers goes away, the top still keeps spinning. With a lot of smaller energy sources coming, like renewables, whether it's solar farms, whether it's offshore wind platforms, the top becomes very, very slow. And even one of those sources falling away will lead to the grid to blackout events. These inertia deficits really lead to this curtailment and lead to renewables being invested in, but not actually being adopted. The centralized approach to energy just doesn't work. Renewables are produced where they're not consumed. A good example is Germany. 90% of the renewable energy is produced in the north of Germany, whereas the largest part of the energy consumption is in the south. So we also see that one of these problems is the grid and the grid infrastructure. Thank you. And the grid infrastructure. And in order to solve this, we need DePIN. The traditional grid is super simple. We have one energy producer, and we have several different types of consumers that consume different types of loads. We propose a new solution, which is a decentralized approach that leverages much more localized energy markets. It leverages existing physical infrastructure, such as smart meters, electric vehicle chargers, battery packs, and so forth. So we can create energy markets that are localized and that are beyond the grid. This new paradigm is largely self-sufficient and is also a lot more efficient than the traditional one. We at Powerledger try to solve this by creating a peer-to-peer proof-of-stake layer underneath these communities. We facilitate a seamless integration between the consumers and the grid through partnerships with energy suppliers, with EV charging companies, with electric vehicle companies, and so forth. These decentralized peer-to-peer energy markets are beneficial both for the grid and for the prosumers and consumers. And lastly, they will lead to higher adoption of renewables, which is exactly what we as the public want as well. So DePIN not only solves the current energy wastage in the renewable energy space, but it also makes renewable energy cheaper and fosters future adoption. It really creates the grid of the future, because the current grid is not capable of handling renewables down the line. To give you a bit of an overview, we have several different types of projects. One was, for example, with Energy Steiermark, where we integrated with an energy supplier in Austria and built out a huge peer-to-peer energy, localized energy market. We also have a project in India with Uttar Pradesh that led to the changes in legislation. So Uttar Pradesh, the most populous state in India with 250 million inhabitants, now only allows for blockchain to be the technology for peer-to-peer trading of energy. That's a massive step. And with UP making that change, neighboring states and other states like Karnataka are following steps. So we see these markets like India really being a step ahead to the European and Western markets. And lastly, we've also done fully self-sufficient projects such as the Chiang Mai Energy Campus that leverages new types of local energy produced by the campus and fully consumed by the campus. And these types of solutions, they will really lead to the next step in renewable energy adoption. At Powerledger, as I've mentioned, we operate this layer 1 protocol where we facilitate these new types of projects. If you're building in the energy space, or even largely in the sustainability space, come and reach out to us. We have grants available, and we invest in this space. Thanks, everyone, for your attention.